Hey guys, Into Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men, the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2, the Colossus Build-A-Figure. Here we have Marvel's Rogue. So before I get into it, everyone's going to ask, where did you get it? Where did you get it? I got mine from toysnowman.com. Link in the video description below for my referral link, which will give you a 5% off coupon if you sign up for the Frost Reward. So again, toysnowman.com. Link in the video description below for my referral link to save you 5%. Please keep in mind, Toy Snowman is based in Canada, so the prices that you see on the site are Canadian dollar, not US dollar. That's why it seems much higher. It's because, again, Canadian dollar, Canadian prices. But they do ship to the US, and for orders $99 or more, shipping is free. At the time that I got my order in, I believe they sold out, but we're expecting another shipment probably around now that this video is going live, or here in the very near future. They're expecting even more shipments of the AoA Wave 2. So if you wanted to put in your order, again, referral link in the video description below to save 5%. So here we have Rogue. Let's get right into it. X-Men there, Age of Apocalypse. In the corner it says Build-A-Figure Colossus. We have the side artwork of Rogue looking very cool on the side there. We get the same image on the back. The bio reads, Rogue moves her way up the ranks of Magneto's X-Men, eventually leading a team of mutants to prevent the culling of humankind. So pretty interesting things going on with the Age of Apocalypse story. I will show Rogue next to Magneto, which is, I don't know if they officially got married. I believe they got married, but she is not in a relationship with Gambit. In fact, Gambit does not like the fact that she basically chooses Magneto. Kind of some interesting stuff, but let's get this figure out of the package and take a closer look. Okay, and here's the Rogue figure out of the package, and it's interesting. The Age of Apocalypse storyline just really changed the look of everyone. Good or bad, they are just very different. Now, I absolutely love this look for Rogue. When I think of Rogue, this is what comes to mind. And I know she's had several different costumes and things like that. But this one is just, it's very odd. So before we take a closer look at it, first, she comes with the left arm Build-A-Figure for Colossus, which you can see here, which is pretty cool. And I always like it when, for a Build-A-Figure, we get additional interchangeable parts. So we also have a fist for Colossus. So it looks like, you know, we got the open hands and a fist. So that is really cool. So I'm going to throw these Colossus pieces off to the side over there. And then in terms of accessories specific for Rogue, all she comes with are a pair of fists. So out of the package, she has the open hands that we see with every single female figure. And now we have these fists, which come with majority of the female figures. Good old Hasbro, we trust them to always include the same exact things for the female figures. We get a lot of new parts on this figure. She actually has pinless legs, knees, which are pretty cool. But there's just something really weird about this figure, and I'll talk about it as we do the close-up, which is going to be right now. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Rogue. The figure looks good enough. I mean, when we compare it to the comic, yes, the figure, you know, looks very accurate. But it just, the designs, like who designed her hair to be like this? It's just like this bob cut, but then it's long here, and then she's got this big old poof at the front and the top. It's just odd design choices, and it's not the figure's fault to follow the source material. But again, it's just odd. The design choice is just weird. You know, like the puffy arms. It's like, what? And then these crazy looking boots, which then make her legs look super thick at the calves to where it looks like she's got cankles, but it's because of the boots. So the legs are new, is because you can see that we have pinless. So that is really cool. You can see the boots there, a little bit of red, yellow boots, and the feet are nice and big. So she is very sturdy. So like with a lot of female figures, I have a hard time getting them to stand up. I could damn near drop her and she'll almost land her on her feet. Almost, of course. But I actually really like that because this figure is extremely sturdy with those larger feet. But looking at it, it's just odd. We get the collar style for pretty much every single Age of Apocalypse character. there. The silver is painted much nicer on her collar as compared to like the collar around Magneto's cape. The silver looks really good. It looks like I got a little too much green on that one there, but pretty minor. Not that big of a deal, and some of it just might be a little bit of reflection, but overall it looks pretty good. The design is weird. Like if you look, the way the neck is and the head, it's just kind of odd, but looking straight up, it's really not an issue. The hair really hides it, but I would say, yeah, it's probably up high on the neck. As you can see there, the neck is just exposed. You can see the ball peg from the back. It's just kind of odd. The next thing is she's really shiny. And I don't know why that is, but the shine makes it look like a cheap plastic. You know, like almost, you know, the old 5-inch figures, kind of how that plastic looked. It was all a very hard plastic, so it was a little bit cheaper. You know, with Marvel Legends now, the limbs and stuff will be a softer plastic. But the whole figure just looks really cheap because of the shine. Something about it, like the dark green, it's got a lot of shine to it, as you can see even here on the legs. It's just kind of odd. Even the light green on the lower part of the legs, not at the hips, but these lower parts also look very shiny, because I mean, just look at the light that's shining off of them. It's just odd. It's just odd to me, and I don't know if it's something where you have to have it in hand to really notice it, but it's kind of weird. In terms of paint apps, the line work is all pretty good. I have a little bit of yellow bleeding through on the hip over here. It's really not that big of a deal. It's pretty minimal, but the rest of the figure, there's really no other issues. Again, the line work is actually done quite nicely. You know, I don't see a little any bleeding or any kind of fuzziness between the lines. It's all done pretty well, so I gotta commend Hasbro there. And again, it's just more the character design from the comic, not the actual action figure itself. But now let's zoom out for her articulation, which is still going to be pretty much the same as all other female figures. Okay, so Rogue, she can look all the way down because the hair doesn't really get in the way, because it's not, the long hair is in the front, not in the back, so she can actually look up. How many other female figures can do that? Not a whole lot. You get a lot of pivot going on in there. You get a full rotation, of course, and again, it is crazy high on that neck. But again, when looking straight out, the hair kind of covers that up, so it's not so much an issue. The shoulders, you can get to go up that high. Get a full rotation in there. We have a single jointed elbow with a swivel at the elbow. And with that single joint, we're getting just about 90 degrees. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. And again, she has a pair of fist hands as well. Make sure to put the right hand on there. And then this little glove piece, this yellow glove piece, that could pop off with the wrist if you wanted to do so. She has a diaphragm joint, so she could pivot to her left that much. It's actually a pretty fair amount. She could pivot to her right that much. Going back, actually a pretty decent amount. Coming forward, really not a whole lot. And that's kind of typical we see with the female figures. And then we get a swivel at that diaphragm joint, since there is no waist swivel. Legs go out that far apart, which isn't a whole lot, but can kick forward very high, which is good. Doesn't really go back a whole lot. You have an upper thigh cut in there, but it is pretty stiff. You get a double jointed knee, which works out really, really well. I love how clean that looks and how rounded it is. Some of the knees on some figures look really bad, and again, those are pinless. There is no boot swivel, so even though like the boot is all sculpted on there and it looks to be like the whole entire leg, it would have been pretty easy, you would think, to have sculpted a swivel in there to do separate pieces, but they did not. Foot hinges all the way down, solid hinge going up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and again, these are some big feet, so she has no problem standing up, which I have a lot of problems with most female figures, but for Rogue, it is not an issue at all. Okay, for a side-by-side comparison, here is the retro release Target exclusive Rogue figure with the AoA Rogue. I had some difficulties getting this one to stand. It had fallen once before already. I'm just waiting any second now. She's probably going to just fall back because Well, see, look, I told you it was going to happen, but that's because, you know, the little feet, that's what I love about this one is these big ass feet, those boots on there. They're probably a little too big and look a little funky when you look at her in whole because the feet just look massive, but it's just maybe she's wearing some thick ass boots, right? But here, this Rogue, again, with those female figures being a little difficult to stand. But again, this is the look that I prefer, but Age of Apocalypse, it's a cool look, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of it. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Age of Apocalypse designs. I'm not a fan of all of them. They don't all look bad, but it was just all a lot of interesting choices. The hairstyles for a lot of the characters are quite different. Most that had shorter hair end up with longer hair in Age of Apocalypse, or like in Rogue's case, kind of long but went shorter and kind of weird. And then they all have the collar piece with the metal bulbs kind of around the circles around their collar piece. Why that was the case, I'm not really sure. But you guys let me know which of the two Rogues you like. Which is your preferred look for Rogue? Okay, so the three figures that I have reviewed in this wave so far, we have Legion, Rogue, and Magneto. And again, them two are a couple, and they do have a child together, and they named the child Charles after Charles Xavier, of course. But the Age of Apocalypse wave is looking pretty good. I can't wait to build Colossus. I think it is going to be awesome. But yeah, those three so far. Okay, so you guys let me know down in the comments below your overall thoughts of this Rogue figure. I think it's okay. The shiny plastic just looks a little bit off, but for me, it's really the design choice of her outfit that's just a little jarring to me. It's cool that, you know, for the Age of Apocalypse storyline to get all of the characters represented true to the comic panels is awesome, but for me, the designs are just a little bit off. But I do think it is really cool to kind of get that themed wave and get them all together. So in the Magneto video, I had kind of asked the question, what are your guys' thoughts on the themed wave? A part of that would be, you know, with those themed waves, you're going to get, you know, character designs that you may not necessarily prefer or like, but it just kind of comes with it. It's cool that we got another Rogue figure. It's cool that it matches these other characters from that particular storyline. Those benefits to me outweigh the negative of not liking the design, if that makes sense. But you guys let me know down in the comments below kind of your thoughts on that. Again, I got mine from toysnowman.com, link in the video description below. It is my referral link, so it'll get you a 5% off coupon. They should have more AoA Wave 2 in stock here shortly, if not already. But again, 5% coupon when you use my referral link in the video description below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.